Better now.
All right.
Good. Good. All right.
That was creepy.
Good.
I'm sure nothing terrible is going to happen to us and everything will be okay.
Story of every session. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure it'll be cool.
That should just be like the tagline for this party.
It could be. Who remembers what you guys did last session?
We set up to start planning for a giant invasion because we were going to have an invasion of giants.
You did.
I'm pretty sure we came to the realization that the primeval was basically enslaved and that it should be freed.
That is also a thing we did.
Mostly.
Not right here where we live.
There was some debate about that.
Yeah, I don't think we came to a consensus on that topic quite yet.
I feel like we did.
We came to a place where we were going to have a discussion about it once we were done dealing with these giants and not in the middle of the town full of dwarves that would probably be really pissed at us for taking away the other dwarves' livelihood. Whew, that was a long thought.
So yes, those were both things. You caroused, you got some lovely new stuff. You debated on whether or not the primordial was enslaved. You met with a very weird general who told you guys that fire giants were coming to try and burn his city.
I was told that I could not shapeshift into a swarm of squirrels.
Yes, you may not do that. You may shapeshift into a single squirrel, but not into a swarm of them.
I don't know, I think a swarm of squirrels would contribute immensely to this game.
We are not going down that rabbit hole. Not
You
yet.
can still have a swarm of
No, you can have a swarm of
squirrels.
rabbits.
You just can't be a swarm of squirrels all by yourself. So what you need to do is you need to summon a bunch of squirrels.
And then just join them.
Be one with the swarm.
You need to go back to that druid enclave you guys were at. What was the name of it? I'm drawing a blank. Shadowtop Cathedral. You need to go back there and find some more druids. And then you can be a swarm of squirrels together.
Polyamory with polymorph.
No one said anything about polyamory.
Oh, sorry, it's a critical role thing. The druid doesn't understand the concept of polyamory and assumes that it means turning people into squirrels with polymorph.
Oh, no.
Which made it just more awkward for the guards.
Oh no. Oh no. Alright, so there were some ideas last week on what you were going to do against the fire giant army, and more particularly the miniature colossus that is marching with it. General Fohammer asked you guys if you would be willing to do something about that, or to do something about their leader, or generally do something that doesn't involve standing on the wall and fighting along with his army.
I'm trying to remember what we ended at.
Yeah, I have no idea what plan you guys ended up with.
There were a few of them. So
There were.
always good to have contingencies.
There were indeed a few of them, so
We do have a magic carpet, though.
yes. I'll go with yes.
And lots of acid. Can we get a silent scroll?
What level spell is silence? Second?
Think so.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not?
So we were generally thinking in terms of flying in there somehow, sabotaging the Colossus and/or the pilot.
What all info do we have about their encampment?
It's you know that it's the outskirts of it are generally watched by goblinoids, bugbears, orogs, the like. No fire giants on the outside perimeter. It's pretty quiet after dark, and the Colossus is generally in the middle, is where it parks itself for the night.
Okay.
And we had reason to believe that the sentries were not doing a particularly good job because they don't care.
They are slaves.
Right.
And we said we might be able to see kind of through the not really eye holes, but whatever would be used as eye holes into the Colossus.
Yeah. You'd be able to see through its viewing ports, yes.
Do we know if we can get through the viewing ports, or if are they windows or just openings, or do we not?
They're basically giant-sized arrow slits.
But it basically looks like like a giant would be standing inside it, so it's like open area.
I believe one of the plans was to have a druid bird fly in there and then turn back into a normal person.
That was certainly discussed.
That was one. I have another
Yeah, but
to add to that, but I need to look into it.
Giant-sized Eris, and I'm kind of wondering if I can just go straight through it in bird form.
How big is a giant's eye? Probably. Strictly speaking, a small enough bird could fly through the eye slit, yes. It is vertical, so you'd have to fly like horizontally. Not horizontally. That's how birds normally fly. You'd have to fly like vertically. But yeah, you could fly through the eye slit.
Get one of us in that way.
Yeah, there was a thought of bag of holding for the other, or my thought is if there's at least enough range to be able to see inside, one of
Have
us
some
with
evidence.
dimension door can get in and bring somebody.
No, they could also bring a bag of holding.
That as well. But I figure if anything, we want the bag of holding to hold a lot of acid. Like, a lot of jars of acid.
And I'm betting the inside of it is not as well protected as the outside.
Mm-hmm. And my thought is that a certain somebody has water walk, which includes being able to step on acid and not have a problem. So we could literally just start pouring stuff down the sides and into it, and we just kind of lift up slightly and not get hit by acid. Doubling up if we can cast silence on the area of the Colossus.
Isn't silence tied to a target the same way darkness is?
Yeah, so that's why we cast it on the Colossus before we go down.
Just cast it on something we attach to the bag of holding.
I don't think it links to an object. I think
It's just an area, so we can do the middle area of the Colossus where we'd be going in. Or like the lower area with the legs where the acid would be hissing, if there was any hiss.
Alright, so a minute and a half in, David.
Hmm.
Check the video I linked.
Oh boy. Yes. Okay, yes.
Is the giant-sized terrace a lot smaller than that?
No. Not significantly smaller than that, no.
Yeah, birds are parkour with feathers. Also, I have other contributions to make to the battle.
Is this what I think it is?
Yes, this is absolutely what you think it is.
Yes!
So you remember the staff that I got and attuned myself to immediately, yes?
Yes, that one.
The one that has Awaken on it?
Doesn't Awaken require... Oh, God. Okay, Awaken requires a beast or plant.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're not planning... Okay, my immediate thought was that you were going to try and awaken the Colossus.
That would have been amazing, but
That would be truly hilarious. But no, I was going to awaken the biggest trees I could find in Ford Run Forest.
she is fucking MacDuffing this from Macbeth and bringing Burnham Wood to Dunsinane.
Alright. So the forest is actually surprisingly far away. How long do you want to spend searching for the biggest tree you can find?
I assume that there's someone among the dwarves who knows something about the trees or about the forest that's, within a day's travel.
Woodcutters?
Right, it's a day's travel to get there. Oh. Just roll me a percentile dice. Okay, 1 sec.
So yeah, there's a realistic limit to how much time I have to search, and I can do one per day.
Yeah. You guys have horses, right? We've established that those go about 40 miles in a day.
We also have a magic carpet.
You do. What's the speed on the magic carpet?
That's a good question.
I'll grab my books.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
All right.
Depends on the type of carpet.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. We're going to say it's one of those 40 feet per round magic carpets, which puts it roughly on par with a horse, except it flies. So that puts it at what, 40 miles in a day for a traveling day? So you could get 3 trees out of that. I feel obliged to warn you that awakened plants are vulnerable to fire.
That's not a bad thing to consider.
And that awaken costs 1,000 gold per casting.
The staff can cast it for 5 charges.
That's true. Which would ignore material components, I believe. We checked that. Okay. So yeah, we'll say you can awaken 3 trees to bring to the battle. Oh god, these things have shit speed.
Eventually bring them to the battle.
Yeah.
They're the American cavalry.
What languages do you want them to speak?
They get one language that I also speak, yes. That I will give them common.
A good choice. Alright, as soon as Roll20 lets me, I'm going to just give you... I'm just going to show you the Awakened Tree stat block. Fucking so slow. And then we will give you 3 awakened trees to use for this coming fight.
You know, I know that there is a spell that gives resistance.
Okay, I think Roll20 might have died while I was trying to give you control of awakened trees. There's a spell. Yeah, there are spells that just give resistance to elements. Are you going to buff all of your trees with them? Hello?
Hi. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, no. If you've been saying anything for the last little while, I cannot hear you. Sorry, everything went really quiet and I thought my internet died for a sec.
Still here.
Yeah, just having a talk.
No, it's fair. Yeah, so, I mean, you can cast resistance spells on your awakened trees if you really want.
Are they concentration?
Nope.
Interesting.
Awaken is instantaneous.
And it's permanent.
Yeah, no, that one isn't. It's
Yeah,
it
it's
just
permanent. They're only really controlled for 30 days, though. For 30 days, they're charmed by the caster.
Yeah.
Yeah, which isn't even like total control. It just means they like you.
Right.
Then I'm going to teach him about being people in a complicated world.
Oh boy.
Are we doing inspirational movie version of this or cartoon sitcom version of this?
Which is the one where I actually regard them as people and help them to get along.
I'm actually going to go with cartoon sitcom for that because inspirational movie usually you don't do that till the end.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cartoon sitcom, you're just bad at it.
You at least still try it. Alright, so yeah, you should have access to the Awakened Tree sheet. And we will drop some of those on for you when it becomes, or if, I guess at this point, it becomes relevant.
As for the trees, I can give them long strider for at least some of the time.
Okay. They are huge sized, so I don't think you can on your flying carpet.
No.
So if you want them there, when you attack, they're gonna have to run through the whole camp.
That'd be kind of hilarious seeing a tree run through and just plowing through. Plowing through ogres.
Strictly speaking, the trees are not wearing pants, correct?
Strictly speaking, they are not.
Streakers!
Streaking tree.
Streaker trees. Oh my god, that's the best. Oh, somebody needs to draw that. God damn it.
Take a regular running tree picture, pixelate the crotch.
Robin, do you think Alex would draw that?
He might.
Last Google Images is sadly short on results.
Well, that's because we've all been saying it wrong. I mean, the appropriate pronunciation is treekers.
I can just picture just like big hulking things going, I'm naked.
What the fuck? Alright, well, I was right. I had no idea where this session was going to go.
Just looks like the bark's been pulled off in places. Yeah, my other thought was trying to like get into the thing. I mean, if I could haste myself and somebody else, and then dimension door in there while the silence is up, then I can still cast in the silence, and I can use my extra action to dump acid, but I can also hold my action to dimension door us both out if something happens.
That seems correct, yes.
So yeah. Because I don't know, can you change, Robin, can you change back into animals, is that like magic that works in silence, or no?
Can I do it?
Wild shape is not casting a spell.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that just works.
Yeah. It doesn't have any necessary components. It just kind of happens.
Okay, that's good. Who knows, we might be able to fit 3 people in there, depending on how big it is. Heck, if you want to scout it, that would be awesome.
Doesn't silence only prevent spells that require somatic components?
Verbal components, but there's like 3 spells that don't require verbal components. And saucers can get around it, but
Yeah.
they have to burn all their saucer points on that instead of, cool saucer stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty darn cool, though, given the situation, if we can pull it off.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm totally all for using silence as an anti-magic effect. And as pro-stealth effect.
Yeah, it's mostly the stealth effect. It's best if, like, a shit ton of acid doesn't start hissing all over the place. And if we all get water walk beforehand, we don't have to worry about it stepping on it.
Well, we got our trees, we got our carpet, we got our acid. Why don't we give the get a flyby of the camp to see what exactly we're dealing with?
All right. When are you flying by the camp?
If she's doing it in hawk form, she can really do that at almost any time of day. Which would probably be better because you can see more then.
Well, I could go as an owl. Owls have great night vision and they're silent.
It's true.
But if we have to change anything up, well, I don't know. If having more time to do that would be better or not. Though actually closer to the time when we want to do it is probably best so we know where everyone is at the time.
Well, I don't think we have any way to make the entire flying carpet invisible, do we?
I do not believe so, no.
I mean, if it's at night and we mostly stay put, there's darkness, but that's about it. We can't see until it goes down.
Yeah, darkness isn't going to work out well.
I mean, if she's flying around, she's the one who needs to scout it.
Well, whatever.
We've discussed the assassination mission to take the mini dot off the board and their leadership. And are we hoping that this will just outright end the attack, or are we just trying to make it less worse?
You are.
We only promised we'd do what we can, so
Yeah, you haven't.
they're not counting on us to accomplish anything in particular except damage. That was my understanding.
So are we doing the night assault on it? Because if we're doing that, then
As much as we can reasonably do.
I mean, it's not like we have enough time to go out there and do it and come back before.
No, this is on our way out.
Okay, are we not planning to stick around for the actual battle?
I wasn't.
I mean, once we get the Colossus, they should be good to go on their own, right?
Fighting a war against giants because of this thing that we took from them.
Well, the giants originally stole it from dwarves.
Yep.
And we counter stole it. And as far as they know, we're bringing it back.
Right, and as long as we do so, they'll feel that this war was justified and they won't say, start a war with us. But
Well, our immediate goal, I thought, was to bring it back to the Lord's Alliance. So if they decide not to do whatever, it stops being our problem. Our real goal is to get to the Eye of the Allfather to see if we can figure out how to make all the giants stop causing problems.
Mm-hmm.
I
This seems to
suppose
be
this is
losing.
just. Yeah, I suppose if this war is going to happen anyway, it's part of the larger war issue of giants rampaging and doing what we can to soften the blow, and then GTFOing in service to ending the war entirely is probably our best bet.
That's the general idea. This is one battle.
Also, since I probably shouldn't wait until certain until the entire kingdom is destroyed, and I wasn't sure about any of the other rare items I talked to you about, David. Should I just pick something from the from the main list, because I would pick a rod of rulership then. I want to say that ahead of time.
Like a witch.
Rod of rulership.
The fuck is that? Never mind. I'll look that up.
But that is in the main list, so it is a rare item.
It's a pretty useful utility item.
Huh. I've never even heard of this.
It's old school. It's like first edition.
Well, first edition came out, God, probably more than 2 decades before I was born.
1982?
Oh, no, only a decade and a bit. I thought it was earlier for some reason.
Ah, youngins.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, seems legit.
So doing something contrary to his nature, would that be like telling a mind flayer not to eat someone's brains?
That would be contrary to his nature, yes.
But you can tell it to eat somebody else's brains.
Yes, that would be very much in its nature. Hey.
Hey,
So for Ox, you just missed it. What is the current plan, guys?
you know what? Don't tell me. It will be better if I don't know.
All right. Cool.
Pretty sure Robin has, or Soliloquy has point on this one, though.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm scouting and then coming back and giving the go no go, yeah?
The
Basically.
trinkers. Sounds right, though. I'm ready on the carpet with all of our acid in bags of holding.
Oh no.
No, earlier.
All right.
When I initially brought up Awaken,
Oh.
because that was just beautiful.
It was.
Yeah, yeah, that was something. All right. You wanted to scout though. Yes?
Yes, I'm going to leave my very fancy hat of telepathy with inks before I go so that you can put it on me and I can communicate without having to shift back afterwards.
Sounds good.
Doesn't Wild Shape shift your equipment with you?
Only
Yes,
if you're
but
wearing it.
then it doesn't work if it's shifted with me.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yes, it is.
So
And
you're
to
going to
use
be a bird wearing a very large, very fancy hat?
no, I'm going to be briefly, yes, I'm going to be a bird wearing a very large, very fancy hat. There's definitely a point at which that is going to be a thing that is happening.
All right. Well, you turn into a bird. What manner of bird are you turning into?
Now, you saw that barn owl video that I linked?
Okay, barn owl.
Yes, I am a ninja bird.
Inks puts the hat of telepathy on you. You are briefly encompassed completely enclosed by your very fancy hat of telepathy.
And that's why I'm using the hat, having her put the hat on me when I return from the scouting mission so that I can tell them what I say, rather than taking it with me.
Ah. Okay, I thought that you wanted to talk to them before you left for some reason. Never mind.
I would just say things.
Yeah.
The only reason to do that would be to make sure it's going to work.
He just puts it down, grins herself, picks it back up, puts it back down over.
It works. Spoiler alert, it works.
I need to put this into my act.
Oh my.
That's what she said.
You can be the magical psychic bird. Tells
For
fortunes.
the
It would be
moment, I'm
wonderful.
going to go be the magical scouting bird if you would take my hat.
Oh, very well. But think about it.
Mental sigh that is cut off as you pick up the hat.
All right. So, flying off to the campsite, you see. What are you looking for?
Well, I am particularly scouting for the mini Voinendod because we're going to wreck its shit and its pilot if we can. So, I want to find it, and if I can fly into the eye hole, I'd like to get a good look inside.
All right. So there. I'm just going to drop you on the page for this real quick, actually. So this is roughly the area around the. This is roughly the area around the mini Vonendon, around the Colossus. So there is a very large, much more fancy-looking tent than that actually is, just to the south of the Colossus. There is a faint light flickering from within. There is a fire giant who seems to kind of be on patrol around, just in the area. And there are a pair of hellhounds curled up, and they sound like they're snoring at the bottom of the Colossus. Around this area, there are a ring of less fancy, slightly smaller tents. It is very quiet, however. The giants, it looks like, have all gone to sleep, and the goblinoids aren't allowed up here. The eye holes do look big enough for you to fly through.
Yeah, take a look inside.
Yes, I am definitely going to take a look inside.
All right. Just at the inside. All right. So, flying through the holes in the top of it. Flying through the holes, you find inside the cockpit, for lack of a better word, you find surprisingly little machinery, exposed machinery at least. All that there really are inside the cockpit are a pair of levers that look like they're around arm level, for where somebody sitting in a chair would be, and a corresponding chair for a giant-sized somebody to sit down in to use said levers.
What are the levers made out of?
They look adamantine.
So it's giant size. So how many people could fit in there, technically?
Probably all of you. Think the giant-sized beds that you guys saw in Iron Slag. Those were big enough to fit all of you guys.
Well, I figure if it's 3 times as long and 3 times as wide, that would be 9 people on the bed.
Yeah. There's also some openings into the other workings of the Vonendon, or mini Vonendon. God, it's hard to. God, into the other workings of it, that it looks like you could pour acid through.
Does it? Can she see like any where it's piecemealed together with regular steel or iron?
Yes. You can spot at least a couple of those spots.
If it's on the floor, that's even better towards the legs.
I mean, you're inside right now. Do you want to go check the legs? Because you're kind of up towards the head.
Isn't it still just bird scouting?
Yeah. Do you want to go back outside and check it out?
Yes, let's get a look there.
All right. So you can fly back out. One of the hellhounds is gone when you come back out. There are some burning footprints that lead towards the pavilion. The other one is nose up and kind of sniffing.
I think that I will take that look at the legs and then perch up at the top.
All right. Roll investigation.
I mean, it's not laying down or anything.
What?
It is not laying down, it's standing up, right?
Yeah. All right. So you can see at least one spot. You can see one spot in particular on the legs, right where the left leg connects into the torso. Right, the joint there. There's some spots that are unfinished, and look like they were fixed up with steel instead of adamantine. You also notice all of these lovely magical things on the front of it. Roll Arcana. You have no clue what they do.
Fantastic.
You're fairly certain that they are, in fact, actually magical, though. But you have no clue what they do.
At least have an idea from what they've heard.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, they're on its torso. They're probably some sort of protection-y stuff. But what exactly they are is unclear. You wanted to go perch at the top?
Yes.
All right. So, a little bit after you finish perching at the top, the other hellhound comes back out of the tent, followed by a very large fire giant with a very long beard, who's carrying what looks like a very large flail. He's decorated a lot more than most of the other fire giants that you've seen. He seems to move with purpose. He strides up to the mini Vonendad with the Hellhound at his side and starts looking around to see if anything is amiss. Give me a stealth check.
So I would be using the owl stealth check, yes?
Yes.
Fantastic.
It seems as if there is an owl on top of my colossus. Are you one of those pesky druids? Would you like to come down and actually talk to me?
Now I'm kind of wishing I brought the hat.
If you will come down and actually speak to me, then I will promise you safe passage out of here.
How does he know it's a druid?
He's just kind of shouting at it. If you are a druid. If you aren't, then you're probably going to ignore me.
I just love the thought of like the main leader of the fire giants just yelling at a bird.
And in that case, I will begin to throw things at you so you get off my piece of art. I will give you to the count of 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Hold your action, just dodge like right when he throws it.
7,
Yeah, I'm going to fly down and perch on his tent.
9.
I'm no longer on his colossus.
He will move back over to the tent. Well, I appreciate that you've moved off my colossus. Will you come inside? I promise once again that if you do, you will leave safely.
This isn't quite what I was expecting.
He still doesn't know you're not a bird.
That's true. They could just go. But I feel like if he's open to talking, that might be worth trying.
You might want to insight that.
I mean, it's entirely your choice. We're not there to help.
Thanks, +7 insight check.
He seems legit. There's nothing that indicates that he's lying to you.
Then yeah, I'll go into his tent.
Interesting. He will follow you in. Welcome, welcome. Please. There isn't much room to sit around here, but come around the table. Let us talk. Zalto pulls up a chair for himself and a smaller chair for Soliloquy.
Right? That's what I was thinking. I am hoping that he gives me the space nearer the door. It seems like the sort of thing that he would be inclined to do.
He does. Are you going to change out of owl form?
This would be a great time to not have my hat. Damn.
You could have just come back. And then gone out again.
I could have, but it's a bit late for that now.
Yeah.
It would be weird. Yeah, I'll go ahead and shift back. And hope that I can outroll him on initiative if it comes to that, and hope that it doesn't come to that.
Alright. You want to cast Speak to Animals on the fire giant.
I'm just saying, if she could do that, then she wouldn't have to transform.
I don't think you can cast in wild shape, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, not until a certain point.
You can hold concentration while you're in wild shape, but I don't think you can cast while you're in it. Ah, it is excellent to see you as you really are. I am Duke Zolto of the Fire Giants. May I ask your name?
Soliloquy Brightwood.
A good name. I won't waste your time. Were you, and I assume you're with a group of adventurers that are around somewhere?
I often work with the Druidic Council for purposes of peace between people with disagreements.
I see. Were you one of the ones who stole my flask?
Like, what flask?
No, you just say, we did not steal a flask from you. Technically, we stole it from a bunch of drow.
That's true.
That's
Didn't
true.
steal a
I
flask
can
from him.
perfectly honestly say that I did not steal a flask from him.
Plus, it wasn't his, so yeah.
Roll deception.
For an honest statement?
You did not steal the flask from him, but it was his flask that you guys stole.
Still get a bonus for that.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, and here's me with inspiration. And now would be a really good time for that to work out for me.
Yeah, let's see if it does.
Wow. Well, there goes our plan.
Well. Well.
So basically, I was like, we didn't steal a flask from you, little eyebrows.
Wink, wink. I see. Hypothetically, were I to have come across those who had stolen my flask, he gives a glare down at you. He knows. I would want to make them an offer.
And what offer would you want to make them?
Why, to join me, of course. To help me fulfill my destiny. I want... May I call you Soliloquy?
You may.
He leans forward towards you. Soliloquy, let me be honest with you. I don't want to burn. I don't want to destroy. Right now, I want unity. Amongst people big and small, amongst giants, even amongst the dragons, if I must. That is my destiny. Reforge the Vonendod. Bring unity beneath the fire giants. You and yours stole my flask. And for that, I want to kill you. But you've also shown that you're extremely skilled. And I could use you. I'm prepared to negotiate with you and yours reasonable terms for your joining me. But I will achieve my destiny, with or without you. I only wish that you could join us for the ride. Are you amenable to this idea? I hope you are. I've been trying to find someone to negotiate this with for weeks, months even. No one will respond to me, though.
You've been looking for adventurers to hire for months.
I've been looking to... The Vonendod is a secondary goal at this point. What we need is unity amongst the people. War is coming, whether we want it or not. Knows it. He wants us, as his children of war, to make ready.
What war is it that you have in mind?
That would be something I'd share with an ally. Not with an enemy. You have my respect, but not my trust.
I can see why you'd be unlikely to trust me at this point.
We did meet via you stealing from me.
I'm sorry, what is it that you claim I've stolen again?
Yes, I know. I'm interested in your thoughts on this matter, though.
I raise that point because you haven't exactly produced a certificate of ownership for the item in question yourself.
I'm sorry, what?
You said that I was part of a group that stole something from you. Were I willing to hypothetically admit for the moment that I were in possession of such an item, I haven't exactly seen any evidence of your claim to it or its contents.
It's a thousands of year old magical item. It does not come with a certificate of ownership, whatever that may be.
So, in what sense can you prove it was yours? When you say something of yours was stolen, how would you prove that?
She's anti-road-showing this.
The proof is irrelevant, especially in light of the broader question which I am attempting to ask you.
You say you want to hire us.
I do.
You came out here dressed for war. And moreover, war apparently against a third party.
Adbar is the largest city around. It figured that you would head there. And if nothing else, it's a fitting place to test out Forstorm. My little baby that you were climbing on outside.
I suspected as much. Well, I can assure you that assaulting Adbar will not return the item to your possession.
Oh, absolutely.
All you're going to do is make it harder for you to take your destiny as ruler of this world without killing more of its people. If that's truly your goal as well as your destiny, then surely you would hope to rule over more people and fewer corpses.
Well, if they won't unite with me or beneath me, then it's better that they're dead.
I think perhaps they would like to know that not being dead is an option under your rulership.
I have
Something you
been
could
sending
by
messages to the Lord's Alliance, to some fop, for months. Not once have they responded.
Sorry. To whom in particular?
Some Nobbin? I believe his name is pronounced in your tongue.
Has he ever mentioned anything like that to us?
Keep sending me back
Not in my recollection.
Keep sending me back messages saying that that I will never succeed, I believe is his words. Oh wait, no, it's that I'll I'll never get away with this. I'm tired of waiting. Figured now, if no other time, there'd be some adventurers around, and I could at least try talking to them.
Oh, well, I can certainly raise the issue with them, assuming that you intend to make good on your show of trust and allow me to leave alive.
I would like to hear your response to my offer before you leave. Will you join me? Build a unified world with me? And prepare? Or will you stand with those childish fops in the Alliance?
I would like to discuss the issue with my team. But you will note that I intend to discuss the issue with my team.
That is a fair assumption. If you wish to return, I will The siege of Adbar will begin tomorrow at dusk. Return, discuss all you wish. If you return before the siege begins, go to the gates, announce yourselves, using the name you've given me.
I would actually like to ask you, as a show of good faith, that you not begin the killing of people here and now. You want to see us dead for what we've done, and that's understandable. We've stood in the way of your plans, your destiny, as you say. And so I can see why you would want to kill us. But these people did nothing. Leave them be. At least for now, until you begin your conquest in earnest.
I am leaving them be. I am giving you one day. If you do not, I will allow you to go freely. I will not attack them for another day.
So there is no agreement that you and I can come to here that will prevent Citadel Adbar from coming under siege at this time.
At this time, with only you,
You can see why perhaps I have something of an advantage over the rest of my team in transit.
true.
And as you say, we are the first adventuring party you've been able to talk with, even in a singular presence in months.
Hmm. Is 3 days' time acceptable to you? I will halt. I will hold my giants here for 3 days. I will wait for your response and for word from you.
It is more than the people of Adbar had before I came out tonight.
It is. Go, then. Siliquid Brightwater. Discuss with your team. I will await you. 3 days hence at dusk, however, we will stop waiting. I suggest you come before then if you wish to avert further bloodshed.
Very well. Until then.
Till
You
then,
just like you really think they called you Brightwater?
Pardon?
You didn't even remember her name.
Brightwood. Fuck. That was my bad.
Yeah, I assumed that it was your bad, and I was just going to let it go.
Oh!
God, I felt like that was one of those, oh yeah, it was fucking right, you're bad.
Yeah.
No,
That would have been Inks.
that was not an intentional thing. That was just me fucking up her name. All right. Until we meet again.
So yeah, gonna go ahead and head back and let people know the ridiculous shit that just went on, because holy shit.
Yeah, so Zalto does not stop you from leaving. As you're leaving his pavilion, he leaves with you and shouts some orders in Giant, and everybody else in the camp leaves you alone as well. And you exit.
I'd hope you like make a swirl around as not to go directly in our direction.
Of course.
You don't see anybody following you. But yeah, you can head back to Adbar. Discuss.
So yes, I would relay the results of my scouting, both the tactical and the social.
Inks just like chuckles to herself and then just starts laughing.
Well, sneaking in probably isn't going to work then.
It's the war of the slavers, everyone. Isn't this amazing? Oh, I did not expect to be that entertained.
I
Goodness, you get
particularly
yourself
like the
into
part where
interesting
he
things.
talked to a bird.
Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, but darling. Oh. Oh, to be in your shoes.
Talons, they don't wear shoes in bird form.
Yes, yes.
Oi.
Well, we won't need shoes.
Where we're going to need boots.
So which slaves do we want to be, then?
And that seems like the offer on offer, yes.
Oh, wonderful.
I thought it was pretty unlikely that you would be interested in his offer, but it did buy 3 days.
Good.
The problem is that there goes my plans out the window, possibly, and that makes me sad.
I'm sure that we could manage at least some of them.
I do hope so.
You can maybe just drop the acid as we fly by. I mean, not as good as getting in there, but
So I suppose if we go in and can see the, mini thing, probably get into it with a dimension door and they wouldn't know where we went, but that's about it.
Okay, so here's the thing, is if you hot drop from high altitude on the carpet, all they're going to see is the underside of it. So they're not going to know how many people are on it.
That's true.
So honestly, you could like dimension door in there and acid the thing up while we're like coming in for a landing to talk to him.
Very true.
Of course, he is going to hate me personally and particularly forever.
Well, that's why we make forever not that long.
That is the ideal case.
I do think at this
Might
point you
work.
could convince him of that plan I talked about.
I have a certain amount of difficulty expressing falsehoods.
And that's what makes you adorable, darling. Don't worry, you have us for that.
if we go in open way, how fast is the carpet again? Slightly faster than
40 feet.
yeah. Trying to think if we do go in and just have Ink's dimension door in while we all land, or however many of us land, what's our odds of getting out alive? You know, he probably has an alarm spell on there now.
Almost certainly. Do we have access to dispel?
I do not, unless we get a scroll. Which we do have a few more days for that.
I suspect if we do acid up the thing and manage to wreck it up, that he is going to have a meltdown uglier than the angry magician.
Huh, meltdown, I see what you did there.
How long does Citadel Adbar think they can hold out?
A while. They're dwarves. They've got tunnels to other dwarven cities. They've got the city's literally built into a mountain. Um, they've got pretty good walls. They can hold out for a while.
What were you thinking?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, if we even just damage the Colossus, like, we don't have to take it out. Although now that we know where the big guy's tent is, I wonder if that might not be a another priority target. Burning it down won't work, obviously, but
I mean, you can try.
yeah, but he's fireproof. I mean, it would be an annoyance. Where's Harshnag at the moment?
Harshnag is outside the city.
We talked to him, what does he think of this shit?
Um, hmm. Is weird. Is probably honest offer, though. But weird offer.
Is fire giants making deals that unusual?
Normally they just conquer. Zalto must have something else in mind.
Is that something else unity? Seems more like slavery is their game.
Hmm. He gave you. You said he gave. Okay. Um. Okay. You said he gave you. He gave. He gave you permission to come back to camp. Yes.
Yes.
Ask. Is fire giants do not use euphemisms. Euphemisms? Is that the right word?
I think so.
They say what they mean. If it is slavery, they call it slavery. If he is not saying slavery, then he means something else. They are very blunt people.
Nevertheless, I don't think we want to be his vassals. I don't think he'd make a good sovereign.
Understandable.
I'm just trying to think how, without the element of surprise, we can do as much damage as possible on the way past.
Well, I would say getting him in on our side and retaliation wouldn't be a bad idea, but that tends to have a 50-50 shot of working. She's referring to charm.
I don't think we could get lasting results.
And a man in his position would likely have protections and contingencies for that. I'm also wondering if just ignoring him and just leaving and going straight to the eye, the eye, might not be the better option. I suppose we have to do at least something on the way past, but although he is not behaving in the traditional fire giant way.
You know, I would kind of like to talk to Lord Naboon and hear about this. Because that is something it would have been great to know.
It would have been informative to have heard that in advance, yes.
Not sure how that information would have changed things, but we probably want to pass along some information to his lordship anyway.
All right. What are you passing along to your boss?
Well, first of all, my lord, why would you not tell us that he's been reaching out to people? That would have been great to know.
He's a fire giant.
Mm-hmm.
Fire giants. Fire giants don't want anything but dominion. I couldn't trust anything he was saying. And I obviously couldn't have him come to Waterdeep. Which left me... Couldn't trust anything he was saying over a letter. My apologies. Speak to him. I'm tied down here for the moment.
Fire giants don't generally send letters. It must have been notably unusual.
Yes, but this is a notably unusual time. Normally, hill giants don't band together and start trying to eat everything. Normally, frost giants don't sail so far south as Waterdeep and start trying to plunder things. And normally, fire giants don't attempt to resurrect ancient colossi using parts scattered across hundreds of miles.
He seemed to think he had good reason, that he would need it for a coming war. Did he happen to mention that in any of his communication?
Does it not sound familiar from what we talked about last time?
Remind me, which war? There are a lot of potential ones going on these days.
Well, the one we've most recently heard about is with the. There are those who suspect the Yellow King is planning an invasion.
Oh, hells, I hope not.
Oh, we all do.
When he mentioned war, I assumed he meant with us, or with the giant, or with, not the giants, perhaps the storm giants, perhaps the dragons. That is what I understand the Vonendad was originally meant to fight against.
He didn't, if I recall correctly, Soliloquy, he didn't say who the final war was with, although he did mention that he didn't want to fight with other giants, or even with dragons, did you say?
He mentioned dragons as potential allies in the end. It might be worth not exactly joining with or submitting to him, but actually opening discussion.
I disagree strongly. Ultimately, it is to our benefit to have Adbar be strong and stable and as undestroyed as possible. But I disagree strongly with the idea of negotiating with the giants. I don't believe they can be trusted. Obviously, I am in Waterdeep, and it is your job to save Adbar by any means necessary, or by any means you see fit. I cannot stop you, but I can warn you. Giants are not trustworthy. With there are a couple of notable exceptions to that, who can be trustworthy in certain situations, but in general, do not trust the giants.
This one has so far kept to his agreements.
To be fair, darling, many of us aren't trustworthy when we need to hide something.
But the other side to that coin is if they met someone if they encountered someone they thought of as an equal, they'd probably negotiate in good faith. But that's not something they run into very often. I'll say the same thing about dragons, even.
Not very often, obviously, but also, this is a strange time, as you said. It can't be thought
Honestly,
of in stereotypes anymore.
But honestly, everything that's happened makes me even more anxious to get to the Eye of the Allfather. We did promise Adbar we'd help, but we also told them we'd help as much as we could, which might not be much. I'm more inclined to make I hate to say the phrase, token gesture of assistance, but a little something on the way past as we move with speed to another destination. That's how I feel it should go. Because I agree with his lordship, we can't assume any deal with him will work the way we want it to.
Oh, certainly. I'm not expecting it to go in nicely anyway. The question is, how badly can it go?
Well,
Want an actual answer to that?
Oh, she already knows the answer to it. That's the thing.
the
The question is, how well can it go versus how poorly can it go? If the fact, well, mostly in the sense of Soliloquy's already talked to him, so there goes any other plans we had. So we kind of have to run
really
with it.
lost stealth, which really limits how much we can do.
I mean, there's potential for for you guys to get totally fucked, but there's potential for some goodness there.
Well, the other side too is we sneaking into the Colossus. Okay, that's off the table. But we could. He's expecting us to do that, like, or join him, one of the two, right? So if we do anything other than those, if we don't go after the Colossus and we don't try and join him, that's probably not going to be on his radar of things to prepare for. So if we like poison their food supply, totally not expecting that at this point.
Although, to be fair, we still have the option I outlined of dimension dooring a couple of people into the mini Dodd while the rest of us go talk to the guy. I mean, I was even considering that we could try again negotiating with them, although I seem to be the only person in favor of actually trying to negotiate.
Winx is perfectly fine with that, but she's not going to probably... She'll probably lie as much as they think he'll be lying.
I mean, on the negotiation side, what can we honestly offer him that he would actually want?
Peace and a lack of dissipation of strength in the face of the coming war. If he seriously thinks that there is going to be a war serious enough for him to ally with dragons, then surely we can move towards an alliance now and not fucking waste our strength fighting each other here and now.
He's going to want the primordial.
Then that's not on the table.
Yeah.
Right then, so we make sure to keep our story straight. It's not in our hands anymore. Even if we did take it, it wouldn't be in our hands anymore. Wink.
Whoever it was that acquired it most recently has passed it on. We know that.
Are you actually going to tell him this?
I don't think we should, but...
Of course not.
Because then he'll just think, oh, it's still an ad bar, and go even harder.
Well, we could certainly make another true statement and point out that the people of Gontelgrim are very anxious to have it back.
Nevertheless, I think we should screw up his flank.
You think what now?
Screw up his flank or otherwise do damage to his camp as we're going past. I don't think negotiating with him is going to be worth the risk. And I don't think we can sneak into the Vonendad or the Colossus. At least not with a reasonable chance of success, and we do have other more pressing issues.
You don't think we could pull that off with the carpet dropping straight down plan that I mentioned before?
Carpet comes straight down, she teleports onto it, the alarm goes off, he knows someone's trying to get in there.
If anything, we could get a few rounds worth of lots of acid.
Yeah, the most we could possibly do is literally, like, fly in like we're going to negotiate, Teleport in,
fair-
drop a bunch of acid, teleport out, and leave.
To be fair, once inside, if it is indeed a Colossus, it would be very hard to damage. He would have to damage it to get us out.
Yeah, but we want to get out too.
Yes. That's what Dimension
that-
Door's for.
That remains the difficulty with a lot of these plans, is we
Oh.
want to actually leave afterwards.
Hmm.
If
To
it
be
weren't
fair,
for that,
if it's
it
an
would be a lot
audible
easier.
alarm, that's when silence comes in.
Well, the alarm would go off wherever he has it set to go off.
Mm-hmm. So there's a 50-50 chance of it being stifled.
I thought if it was Sonic that it had to be within the warded area.
Mm-hmm.
Fair warning. Alarm can also be a mental alarm.
I know, that's why I was saying 50-50.
Yeah.
And you didn't hear it last time.
Well, no, but one of the
Oh.
Hellhounds went and got him last time.
I'm sorry, say again?
One of the Hellhounds went and got him last time.
Yeah, one of the Duke's cute doggies.
Well, if a couple people want to negotiate while we try, I can at least keep him distracted and we might learn a bit more. Preferably, probably Rich. Somebody with a Dimension Door also.
Yeah, I mean, if it's alarmed, it kind of shoots down my plan because I was thinking of sending a telepathic message to the person who dimension doored into it to go or no go. If negotiations with them didn't work out. But I guess we're, other than me, entirely sure that they're not going to work out. Was I wrong in any particular there?
No.
Like,
Just
I was
still
completely
trying to think of
curious as
third
this is.
options.
Damn, she wished she had been there to listen to that. I had to ask a shit ton of questions.
I mean, the alarm only goes off once, so if he comes out and I'm in bird form sitting on the thing again,
Hmm. That's an idea, actually. We can do that. Does Rich know silence?
No, but we have a
I do
scroll.
not.
Okay, hold on. Just preliminary version of this. Soliloquy shows up in bird form to announce our presence, hopefully setting off any alarms and triggering any other security measures, incidentally. And the rest of us fly in, and Rich, invisible if necessary, dimension doors into the thing, silence, make a mess, and get out somehow.
Inks can dimension door if she's in without having to wall in the silence, so. Also, if she hastes the both of them, then they can go faster and she can use her main action to dimension door as a reaction if need be. As a help, as a.
So it'd be me,
ready
Soliloquy,
action.
and Ox doing the negotiating while you guys make as much of a mess as you can. How are you planning on getting out?
I mean, in theory, back onto the carpet as it goes up.
All right, what's our excuse for leaving someone sitting on the carpet?
Well, that's our getaway driver.
That's our real reason. We need an excuse that he'll trust.
I could sit on the carpet. You could pretend I'm not a real person.
That's just a statue we take everywhere. The adventuring party is really just the two of us.
I mean, it's just be like, oh, it's just an automaton. It's not a real person.
Make terrible, terrible conversationalists.
I mean, unless he's run into Warforged before, it's doubtful that he would press that.
He had a golem, that's different.
Right. So I mean, like, he's going to be used to golems and other sorts of constructs.
Oh yeah, you're totally just a golem we haven't used the command word on.
I doubt we'd be able to convince him that we just randomly took a golem with us, and also that the two of us are the adventuring party.
The two of us, honestly, I think is the hardest part of that. Because we have like a mini golem. I was like, what are you going to do? Talk to the golem? All it's going to do is moan at you.
Dogs are birds.
Can, well, wondering whether carpet could stay in place if it flies.
Just say the rest of the party stayed behind to get drunk.
You know what might work? The rest of the party already decided no.
I mean, I was hoping that we could get the more negotiating members to actually try to negotiate something with them to not be a fucking dickbag as he tries to take over the world. Since we'd do better in a war if we were all at our full strength rather than beaten into submission.
I mean, I'm all for that. I'm more than willing to make that pitch. But I think having just me, Soliloquy, and maybe Ox around might not be enough.
I mean, Rich could also go there, as long as we have one person with dimension door. On each side.
We could hire some actors and say that Adriel's our leader and speaks for all of us. But it's not like he knows what we look like. We killed those guys in the tunnel and then we hid.
Grab a couple dwarves.
Or let's leave a dwarf with the carpet because it's theirs anyway. Can be like, we just borrowed it for this.
That has a lot of merit.
I mean, as slightly satisfying as seeing Dagon get burned even further was, it's also a pretty clear sign of what he's really about. Because he didn't really speak to them, apparently. As adventurers.
Rich, do you think you could get in there, do enough damage, and get out on your own? With, scrolls and stuff?
Nah, Inks
I
would need to be
mean-
the one to do that because the silence.
I can
Right.
cast 3 fireballs, so depending on how much damage you think that'll do.
Probably
None.
not much, honestly. Yeah, if any.
It would have to be Inks.
I can
Okay.
also get a wrench and throw it into the gears.
And he's a bard, he has charisma too, so.
Yeah, no, he's as good a negotiator as any of us. Probably the
acid
best.
in there, so I can't imagine that a wrench or fireballs are going to do much more than that.
Wrenches and fireballs.
I mean, if we could just pour a shitload of adamantite in there to harden, that would probably fuck it up.
It'd at least make it a bitch to clean out.
You are technically correct.
The best kind of correct.
How would that work?
Okay, number 1 plan. Ready for this?
Uh-huh.
We go into the control room of the Voidendotite mini-me, and we release the primordial and we tell it to wreck this thing and then go home.
I approve of this plan.
All right, I have a concern
Again.
about this plan. And my concern is roughly the same concern I've had for many such plans. The part where we survive, I didn't hear that part. Could you
Yeah.
go over that again?
Again, what we know about the primordial was that it came to this particular plane of its own accord in the first place, right? So what's stopping it from coming again after the charm was worn off and fucking shit up with all its friends?
Also, does one ask a primordial to do anything?
When you
The
open it up
flask
out of the
is-
flask, it has to follow your instructions.
Is it charmed or does it have to follow?
Something.
It's a limited domination effect. I don't remember the details.
And again, maybe I am overthinking this, but I personally would rather just stay the hell away from that plane indefinitely rather than go back to the place where I was enslaved. But that's me.
Yeah, it's friendly to you guys for an hour at the base your command.
Yeah, just an hour. But if it's
Well-
that angry for that long, it would come back and fuck shit up. You know
Wait,
it
wait,
would.
wait, wait, wait. Hold on now. If it is friendly to us, unless the mere presence of it is destructive to life, which, seems reasonable, but nah. Because an hour, I think, would be more than enough time for us to get away. If just being around it doesn't kill us.
Would you care to make some sort of probably Arcana check to figure that out?
I would care to do so. One moment, please.
Would anyone care to join him in that?
You probably ought to, because it's not going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I will volunteer to be the one to open the flask.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Yep, Adriel doesn't know. Inks doesn't know. You get a vague feeling that, okay, Rich knows. So, things that are close to the primordial and things that are close to the primordial or that, God forbid, try and attack it generally get pretty badly burned.
But fire giants are immune to burning.
Yeah, so that's a thing. That is a thing.
I mean, isn't there an upper limit to that?
Yeah, it's surprisingly small. It's only maybe max 30 feet. Is that it? Starts dealing super heavy fire damage to things.
Right, I mean, is there no fire hot enough to burn a fire giant? Could it just, like, be in the sun?
Interesting question.
I bet he takes lava baths.
Unclear at this time. Nobody's ever really tested what happens if you put a fire giant's fire resistance up against something like a primordial.
If I were one of my previous characters, I would say we should do it for science.
God damn it.
Damn it!
I like this plan.
But
Are you
that's
thinking of several of your characters that would go along with that on that basis, Flynn?
For science, no.
Isn't that character dead?
He lived.
Oh shit. Okay.
No,
He
Phelan died.
was like half the party died, but
Yeah.
he lived.
I understand Volnir is still kicking around somewhere, too.
That's that.
Cortanus is probably around somewhere, if somebody picked up the card again.
Everybody from out of the abyss is still around somewhere. You could potentially find all of them if you decided to scour the continent. It is just extremely unlikely that you will meet most of them.
Okay, there you go. Okay, Thess might be interested for science. Maybe. But possibly not.
Bess is up to some shit, let me tell you.
Oh, goddamn. She did not take that fucking rod!
All of your characters are up to some shit, to be fair.
Do they all get, like, Yellow King dominated?
What would be the fun in that?
That's fair.
Anyhow, you guys have a problem to resolve in this game. What do? Are you going to...
Make a
What is the
serious
current-
attempt to negotiate peace on the basis that we all need our strength if there's a war coming.
That is your actual plan.
And if that falls through, telling through telepathy that fuck up the mini dot as I go, wreck it, and use our negotiated free passage to leave?
You don't necessarily have negotiated free passage out this time. You would have to negotiate that or get that from him again.
Yeah, but to be fair, I can write that on a piece of paper and carry it with me, like free passage? Question mark. And just, leave if he doesn't say it, doesn't swear to it again.
All right. You want to make a serious attempt at negotiation. All right, this ought to be good. How are you entering again? You flying in?
Yes, I am flying in an owl form. They are flying on the carpet, and I am letting them know whether or not we have safe passage before they come in. Is,
Also,
I think, the plan.
would would Syl have known like what the general distances around the Vonendad mini are? Like the tent was how far away and how big?
I'm pretty sure I could draw a map.
Sure, why not? I'll just move you guys back onto here.
Okay. That's good to know.
All right. You would like to enter. Yes?
Yes.
You landing on it as bird form again?
Well, of course. How else is he gonna know I'm here?
Fair.
So yeah, I'm gonna land on top of his Voinenbot again, and because I am assuming that they are right and that he has alarmed it.
a little bit after you arrive, he comes back out. Soliloquy, is that you?
So I will drop my letter requesting right of parley.
Safe passage for you as long as you cause no trouble. Agreed.
Hopefully he won't pick up that we're causing trouble before we're done causing trouble, but at that point we're making a burning run for it no matter what, so. Alright, so I will let the party know that he has agreed to safe passage. And I will go ahead and fly down towards his tent so that I can perch there and hopefully occupy his attention somewhat while they are coming down the carpet and dooring into the Voinenda.
So if you went down, touched the thing, and put up the alarm, that would be the same time that Inks would haste dimension door in. That would have been like a silence on it.
Slowly and carefully steer the carpet down.
Yeah, first put a silence on it, then haste self and go in.
Alright. You're going in. When are you going in?
It would have been at the same time as the bird drop in case the alarm went off, so it would seem like it was just the alarm for the bird.
Alright. point, you're hasted and you're trying to be sneaky while flying the carpet.
She's not flying.
No,
the car-
I'm flying the carpet, and I'm not trying to be sneaky. I'm trying to move it slow and steady so that A, we don't look threatening, and B, she can do her thing.
Okay. Wonder if he spots it. He probably spots your carpet. So look, are those yours?
Does he have dark vision?
I think they do.
Because it was my intent to come out here on the second night.
Oh, fire giants do not have dark vision.
Yeah. Wow.
Still only 16, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Are those...
Well, it depends on the distance. Like, he could see to a certain point.
There's something floating up there. Are they yours?
I'm going to screech at him, actually, since that's what owls do.
Could you please shift out of this form?
And go ahead and land and shift out of that form.
Thank you. Are those flying up there? Is that flying up there some of yours, or?
They are, as I mentioned, the rest of my team is not quite as capable of getting around as I am on their own.
Could they come down, please?
I had thought they were going to.
As a
I
note,
was on my
considering
way
this plan
down.
involved water walk, and we say still used water walk on everybody beforehand.
No, but I was moving down like the whole time as soon as we got the signal, so
Yeah, so
I'm not like hanging out in the air.
Okay. And it's just Adriel and Ox
And Rich.
Oh, it's just Inks that's going in? Okay.
Unless we had a dwarf that would come with me.
Probably not. They're not crazy enough to try this.
Sometimes it's nice to be chaotic.
but just think how much acid 4 dwarves in a bag of holding could have poured into it.
He's got bags of holding, just pouring acid. In complete silence. Hasted.
All right.
Anyway, my intention is try like hell to make these negotiations come off, and if and when they fail, to tell her to go to town up there. So
But to be fair, she might need to go to town now as much as possible so that if it goes south, the damage is done, she can get out.
At this point, that's up to Inks,
yep.
whether or not to go to town or not.
She does know we are going to try and make this negotiation work.
If that was the case, she would hold out on hasting then.
Okay. So, may I have all of your names then? I am familiar with Soliloquy.
Adriel Korovnash. Dear Grace. Adriel gives a slight bow.
He inclines his head to you. And is that a Warforged you have with you?
Indeed. I am Ox.
Ox, you say? Fascinating. It's been too long since I've met one of your kind. We must We must speak later. And you, what is your name? He points at Rich.
Ben Entwistle.
Ben Antwistle?
Int.
Intwistle. Well, Mr. Intwistle, welcome.
And how do you do?
Not bad. And yourself?
Can't complain.
Now, first things first, I suppose I would like to hear all of your responses to my offer.
We have concerns. We're not ready to dismiss the offer immediately, but
Understand. I have described what I wish to you quite clearly, I believe. I desire unity amongst the people, and I desire the reforging of the Vonendar. I am prepared to negotiate for those things.
I suppose we should start with the most pressing concern of ours. Not the only one, but why, if you desire unity and strength among all the peoples, are you so intent on attacking Adbar?
Firstly, Adbar seemed the easiest way to lure out whoever had stolen my flask. Adbar is a deep, well-entrenched city. Laying siege to it for an extended period of time would be foolish, probably lead to more casualties of my own. But keeping an army here for at least a few days would likely lure out at least some clues. Secondly, I need to start somewhere with uniting people. Adbar is a city of the Lord's Alliance, and they've ignored me in the past. I figured it was as good a place as any, if it came down to it.
It could be the place where you begin demonstrating to the world your wisdom as a potential leader that they should submit to, rather than...
Well, that has yet to be seen. Whether they submit to my wisdom or... Submission is, well, shall we say submission is a long-term goal. I am prepared to sacrifice somewhat. Somewhat, not someone. Clarification. He seems legit.
Yeah.
How's that the first insight check someone's rolled?
Yeah, still rolled one before, but this has just been a night for shitty rolls.
Yeah, Oh, yep. Okay,
There we go.
He definitely seems legit. Something's got this dude rattled.
Alright, so I am going to attempt to get a read on him with my very fancy hat.
You could probably also just ask him while you're doing it.
I was certainly going to ask him once I begin. I mean, I just want to know whether or not I can, if he has a specific defense against this, because if he does not have a specific defense against this, and then I ask him about the war, he's going to think about it whether or not he tells me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Let's see. All right, so you're going to ask him about the war? How are you phrasing this question of yours?
I guess it would probably be the second. I would probably say, okay, well, I can kind of see where you're coming with Adbar, even if we don't quite agree. But moving on, the second concern is why do you feel such a strong need to unify the people now? The peoples, you would say, plural.
My God has decreed it.
We understood that your god was being particularly uncommunicative right now.
Before everything happened, before the king vanished, before I had a dream of the Allfather, warning me of things to come, and saying that the giant people must have unity, but they must also be strong. I am doing my best to follow my God's commands.
A noble thing to do.
I imagine you would understand. My God commands that we bring unity and strength to the giants. The Volnendad will bring us strength. The fire giants will bring strength. And thus it falls to me to bring unity.
Attacking Adbar brings you none of that.
Attacking Adbar was never meant to be a long-term proposition. As I said, either it would draw out whoever stole my flask within a couple of days, or a clue to them, or it would bring me nothing, in which case I would leave. Lovely thing about sieges, you can pick them up and quit whenever you like, as long as you're the besieger.
Although it would have placed you at risk of becoming weaker.
An acceptable risk. The power of the Vonendad and the potential to gain it is worth many more giants than I would have lost.
If, hypothetically, you were to regain possession of the item that you seek, what would your next move be?
Three moves. Bring as many fire giants as I can to this plane. Negotiate with the Lord's Alliance if I can. The Vonendot, after all, gives me a much better position of strength to negotiate from, if nothing else. It should get that fop to stop sending me desist letters. And thirdly, find the Storm King. He's a symbol of unity for all the giants. And he's strong. Probably more than anybody else.
So if we could get you open communication as equals with Lord Naboon, and we told you that we were specifically already trying to find the Storm King because we're trying to bring peace between our peoples and the giants, would you be willing to quit the field?
That would depend.
On?
This is a negotiation.
I would like the opportunity to meet with more than just this Lord Nobbin. However his name is pronounced.
Naboon?
More than just him. If I could, I'd like to sit down with multiple leaders to discuss unification and terms.
From what you told us, you were told to unify the giants, were you not?
Unifying the giants is, well, simply put, unifying the giants is a task for the Storm King. I can unify my people and I can attempt to find the rest of the giant lords, but I haven't been able to contact them since the shattering of the Ordning. I wish to end conflict between the little people and us for now. And I suspect that will lead to some promises that are a bit beyond your ability to keep. No offense meant.
Our authority is limited. We
Exactly.
admit this. For instance, we could not promise you a meeting with any of our superiors per se. We can only promise you that we will pass along that request and endorse it.
A fair statement. May I request that you pass that along to more than just the thought power? I don't trust him.
Add a character, can we do that? Like, do we have contacts with any of the other ones?
I mean, you've
We
gone
were
through enough cities, like
There's that one lady who was on our side, the water lady from not Yartar, was it? No, it was the other one. Or was it Yartar?
She was cool though. And
Well,
she would at least talk to this guy.
Who was Yartar?
yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to the map and map out all the Lord's Alliance cities you've gone through. Adbar is a Lord's Alliance city. Silvery Moon is a Lord's Alliance city, and you guys don't necessarily know anybody directly there, but you can get in contact with them. Everland is one as well. Yartar is a Lord's Alliance city. Neverwinter is, and you know at least a couple people there.
Rich is totally in with the lady from Yartar because we fucked up her rival.
Waterdeep is a Lord's Alliance city. And I mean, you haven't necessarily met them yet, but there are more lords in Waterdeep than just Naboon. So
we have a few personal contacts among the actual lords of the Alliance. Beyond
you've been through enough Lord's Alliance cities and made enough contacts along the way that you could definitely pass this request along to more than just Lord Naboon.
Okay. That much is doable.
As for the Storm King, may I ask what you found on the path to him?
Not very much, but a few clues that may lead us to more clues. We know the ordnance has been shattered. We know it's affected all of the giants in different ways. We have some details of how it affected your people, as well as how it's affected the frost giants, and a little bit about cloud giants, although that information I'm not entirely confident in.
Where are you heading next, then, on your search?
Debating if I want to tell them the truth or not. Hold on. We think we know where the Eye of the Allfather is.
He raises a orange eyebrow. A noteworthy goal.
I do not expect to find final answers there, but she kind of like spreads her hands.
A good place to start, for sure. The eye has been lost, but if you believe you found it, I would... I have a small request of you while you're there. If you find... I don't expect you to go out of your way to look for them at all, but the Eye of the Allfather is likely near some old giant ruins. Ruins of old Astoria. If you could send word, if you did find any, it would be much appreciated. And I am willing to back that up with much gold.
If we find such, we will let you know.
I appreciate that. But for now,
I think if to get what you want, you need to negotiate with the Lord's Alliance. You have seen this, and it has become clear to us as well.
I do.
Adriel looks at her compatriots for confirmation.
And for that, I ask that you take word to them for me. I will, for the time being, I will retreat to Iron Slag and await your word for details of whatever this meeting is to be.
That was the condition that we would need to place upon you. You would need to, as a gesture of good faith, withdraw your forces.
That will not be a problem. I would ask, however, he reaches into a pocket and pulls out a very large engraved metal, what looks like a very large engraved metal version of the sending stone that Lord Naboon gave you. If you let me know as soon as you have any sort of word.
Will I even be able to lift it?
It's heavy. It's probably like 50 pounds or so. But yeah, you can lift it.
Okay. Kind of
Do
stagger
you
a bit
have
before
that
handing
one
it to
made by
Ox.
Emil?
This is why the good gods of magic gave us bags of holding.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. I appreciate this. Do I have your word that you will honestly attempt to convey the word to the members of the Lord's Alliance?
You have my word that your requests will be passed along.
Are you being honest?
She actually is.
All right.
Paladin's oaths are fairly important to her.
Okay. Then I will retreat to Iron Slag and await word. I will
Okay, yeah, somebody needs to give Inks the don't do it signal, like now.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
call it. I would appreciate a meeting being within the next 2 months, if that can be arranged.
Edril will kind of give a thought. That seems doable. Travel time is obviously an issue, so. But 2 months, yeah, I can see that.
Of course.
That request will be passed along as well.
Of course. He will give you another small bag of holding. This has several more sending stones. I would appreciate it if you could give one to each of the lords you speak to. It should make preparations, at least, much easier.
Okay.
He seems legit.
I'm totally honest.
You can open them up and examine them for yourself if you want.
To be fair, my honest plan was not to do that, but first thing we're going to do with them is examine them and make sure they are in fact sending stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my intention here is like, is he seriously committed to peaceful alliance? Unity through peaceful alliance, if he can manage it.
If it can be done, it's the first step. He seems pretty committed to it. I will wait 2 months in Iron Slag. My fire giants, I do not have a way to reach all of them. They will likely attempt to continue collecting pieces of the bone and dog. I will reach as many of them as I can and tell them of the news. If there is not a deal within the next 2 months, however, or if there's not even a meeting within the next 2 months, however, I do not think I will have to march again.
I'm fairly confident you'll have an answer one way or another long before then.
As am I, but I have learned the hard way not to leave open time frames.
That is
wise.
Then have we an accord? And
We do.
He'll reach out a hand to you.
Shake a pinky.
So it is done. We will pack up and leave in the morning. Thank you for at least actually listening.
I will admit, it was not what I expected to hear.
These are troubling times. And they make for, what is the saying amongst little people? Strange bedfellows?
Indeed.
All right then. I should sleep. It'll be a long day of shouting at giants tomorrow. You all should leave. Get back to Adbar.
Indeed, we should. Sleep well. You're great.
You as well. He'll turn and head back into his pavilion.
Go get on the carpet.
You can add a little lipstick heart to it if you want. What color is it?
Oh, what's the color of the interior?
Black, mostly.
That would totally be red.
I was gonna
So I
say,
need like a
nice
lipstick
deep, like,
mark and get him in trouble with
burgundy-ish
his
red.
wife.
You find another heart in what looks like very thick lipstick already down there.
Oh. Oh, cheeky boy. What? Well, he is a married man, but what is he doing?
How big is that backseat?
Why are you assuming you need more than one seat?
Just wrote right in the thing, if you can read this, my wife fell off.
Right, so returning to Adbar.
Yanks is gonna dimension door back up to the carpet once it's up high enough, and she can still see it.
Okay, that went unexpectedly. And fill in inks on what happened.
Well, I didn't expect much, but quite interesting. Hope he likes the present.
Yeah, so general insight thing that I kind of only mentioned the once. Dude is rattled. Something has rattled the Duke.
Did you guys not talk about this war again, even though I asked you to?
We asked him, and he doesn't seem to know. He got a holy message saying he's got to unify everybody.
Ah, yes. Holy messages that always seem to be very vague, don't they?
Edric will just shrug at that.
No offense, darling.
His contained words. I'm slightly jealous. Nevertheless, I think we got him to step off for months.
Lovely.
Yes.
Oh, and he is really going to enjoy all that acid later.
Yeah, I would have at some point in this put his. Like, we should have made sure that all of the years were in the bag of holding. I'm not entirely sure that they are all off. So I think having them where they can't hear us discussing the meeting is a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
Also,
should
that was a
probably
total
paint
joke about the
something on
acid.
ours before we put it in the bag. Just so we know which one's ours.
Tire ribbon around one of them.
They're all pretty well identical.
And so we should mark ours before we put it in the bag. So that we don't accidentally give that specific one away.
Okay. There's lipstick. I honestly can't think of anything else to use. Because it's metal. It's not like we can't etch it. Can we? Does anyone have the skill to acid etch it?
Dwarves.
Magical metal is also.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could acid etch something on there. Well, I don't know how good it'll look.
Well, the other side to that is, can you do that without disrupting the magic?
I can acid etch something onto the coin. I don't know how well the spell will work.
Yeah, so let's hold off on that. Well, we'll just make sure that it's everything's neatly tucked away so no one's listening in. We still have to inspect them to make sure they are what he said they are. And then pass along his requests to as many Lords of the Alliance as we can. And then let them go from there.
And if you keep being friends with those trees for a while, maybe they'll protect Adbar. You didn't get to use your tree curse.
That's cool. They get to they have no risk in their lives. They just get to, be people. That's awesome.
Hopefully they
No,
don't
I'm really
be
happy
bad
with
people.
this outcome.
Did you just start a tree bandit gang?
God, I hope not. No, I'm gonna try to teach them to be druids, or at least a little bit about being druids and being people.
They just come with us as we go off to the Eye of the Allfather.
Also, I'm kind of hoping to set up a long-term revolution here where they become druids capable of casting awaken and awaken more trees and teach them to be druids capable of casting awaken.
Do you want new races? Because this is how you get new races.
I.
Soliloquy becomes a goddess.
You can try.
Patron god of the tree people.
I make no guarantees of success. You can try.
That's fair. I'm done. Yeah, I'm definitely trying. This is happening. This is going on, guys.
You want to turn your trees into druids. Am I understanding this correctly?
I mean, I'm not going to try to force them. My understanding of the way it works is if I treat them well, then they're aware of that afterwards. They know that I didn't just like use them and throw them away, right? And it is likely that they will continue to have fuzzy, warm feelings towards me, as people do.
Right.
Heck, and you can have them go down to the grandfather tree and learn at Shadowtop.
Exactly.
All right.
Grandfather tree has grandkids.
I mean, we're already headed a significant part of that distance back ourselves anyway.
Oh, there's literally a location called Grandfather Tree. I'd forgotten about that. All right. All right. How are you starting with your trees?
I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Well, so
Hi,
like,
I'm Soliloquy. What do you want to call yourselves?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
Describe how
welcome
you,
to being aware.
yeah, describe how you treat them over the first couple days of their awakenness.
I mean, I'm not sure of the exact words I would use, but
That's okay. I'm not asking for exact words. It's a couple of days worth of time.
Teach him how to
But
walk
just
and
like-
talk like a good mama.
exactly.
Just generally.
I mean, if I am making people, I am going to do my best to prepare them for the world. So I'm going to be honest with them and encourage them to ask questions about things they don't understand and try to impart my worldview to them. Yeah, I'm nice to them. They're
Okay.
people that I made that I am responsible for, and I recognize my responsibility there.
Roll a trio of charisma checks for me.
Who can I be, Auntie Inks?
I'm okay with this.
I can aid then, maybe?
I would very much like some aid.
Oh boy.
I probably would try to help her, at least a little bit.
Could you like persuasion?
Yeah.
Persuasion or charisma? Actually, it doesn't make a difference.
Persuasion makes a significant difference for me.
Sure. Make a
That's It's my attempt to assist. I'm technically a straight charisma check.
Yeah.
It's still better than the other checks were.
Yeah, what are
What
these?
are these?
What are these rolls nowadays? This day has just been terrible. Most rolls haven't been over like a 5.
So with aid, you do pretty well. One of the trees, the second tree you awaken, is learning significantly slower than the other two. But the other two seem to start picking things up pretty quickly. You know, they're walking around, they're talking, they repeat a couple of opinions you've given to them like they're facts. You know.
Don't let Ox anywhere near them with his nature facts.
I was about to say, I want to talk to them about nature.
Yeah, Ox, you want in on this?
Yes.
All right. Give me a persuasion check. Oh boy. All right. What nature facts do you tell the trees?
Shoot, I don't actually have any off the top of my head right now. But along the same lines as what I've said in the past. I'll have to start
It's
coming
okay,
up
you
with a
have a
list to
couple-
use in the future.
I mean, I assume that you're waiting until my attention is slack so that I don't catch you with this.
I would also try to teach them about the monk ways the monastery taught me, which is very zen and would probably fall in line with the
Druid
druid
monks.
stuff.
Oof. Good times. All right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. See, like,
I'll just, slip in a few nature facts as part of that.
Yeah, they occasionally spout random quote nature facts that you know as well.
Unsubscribe nature facts.
Hello, you have subscribed to Nature Facts.
No.
Text unsubscribe to unsubscribe.
yeah, so at some point, if I hear them repeating nature facts, I will explain to them that while Ox is very knowing about the monthly ways, he does not know very much about nature.
All right. We'll see how well that sinks in. But for now, yeah, they're learning. They're learning quite well, actually. On your way back. Now you are on your way back to Adbar. Oh, dear God. Have you seen the stat? You probably haven't. This. We will cross that bridge when we come.
Well, I also need to do the necromancer.
Ah, yes. The necromancer. Bam. So you have taught the trees some fun things, but currently you are heading back to Adbar post discussion with Duke Zalto. I think this is where we're going to end for the night, if you guys don't mind.
Cool.
It seems
Okie
like a
dokie.
reasonably good place.
Sorry?
I said it seems like a reasonably good place. We prevented a war, or at least held it off for 2 months.
Yeah, we actually found a third way on that.
Yeah. As much as I wanted you guys to... It made sense for him to do. As much as I wanted you guys to fight his Colossus, it made sense for him to extend a branch. Instead of just continually trying to stab things.
Like, all those people are still gonna be like slavers, but 2 months.
Yeah, but they're slavers who are strong as fuck and willing to work with you guys. Plus,
Yeah, I mean, as we open up lines of communication to different lords, we may be able to get them to stop slaving.
it's something that they can work on. There are definitely still human slavers in the world. You know this, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or little people slavers, at least. Non-giant slavers.
See, now I'm just picturing like halfling slavers, and that's kind of horrifying.
I mean, we already know there's dwarf slavers.
Yeah. My DM in the game I play in likes to put halfling cannibals in all of her games, in all of her worlds.
That's actually
Big
that's
fan
a
of
Dark
Dark
Sun
Sun,
thing.
huh?
I mean, no, halflings are all about their meals.
They are. But yeah, there's just this one continent of swamps to the south that has or not continent, country of swamps to the south that has like fucking cannibal halflings in it.
Yep, that's Dark Sun. Well, the jungles of Dark Sun.
Yeah, there might be jungles there too. I don't remember that well. We've never been there with my party, so.
Sounds like you need to change that.
So, David,
Yes.
were you expecting today to see the beginning of an active nature movement composed of active nature?
No. But then again, today I honestly wasn't expecting you guys to try and talk.
So like we just creates Greenpeace, literally.
And I'm pretty sure you guys weren't expecting him to try and talk.
Not at all. Ink's got to see something interesting though, so that's all that matters.
Everybody was surprised today.
Indeed.
But yeah, I'm keeping the stats for the minivone and Dodd, just in case. But for now, you guys won't have to fight it.
Hey, be fair, there's a war with something that has him scared shitless on the horizon. You'll get to use it.
Oh yeah, no, I guarantee you it will be used somewhere. I don't care where at this point, but it will be used somewhere. It's gonna fuck somebody's day up. But yeah. So I'm actually gone for the next 2 weeks. I am returning to the motherland for a little while. So
you're not joining our other game, huh?
no, I don't think I'll be able to make time, honestly.
Okay.
Which is really unfortunate. It looks like fun, but
Man, you're missing out on Granny Rogue.
oh god.
And Barbarian Noblewoman.
Yeah.
Hey, be fair. I mean, I'm trying to reshape that world too.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be amazing. She's actually gonna transmute antimatter. You know she is.
God.
I'm a transmutation wizard. It's gonna happen at some point.
Oh no.
How are you liking the transmuter?
Well, at this point, it's a level 1 character, so I have no idea.
Ah,
But conceptually, I think I'm going to have some fun with it since Grandma Rogue has already agreed to pass off funny money for me.
nice. Okay, so not next week.
No. Not the week after either.
Okay.
Okay.
I am off continent, unfortunately.
Motherland!
Not that motherland. More like motherland.
Ah. Fun.
Should be. Scottish whiskey, right?
That's fair.
I was just about to say, have fun, get drunk.
Yeah.
Other way around. Get drunk, have fun.
I'm not picky.
Carouse checks. Cross checks are going to happen.
Yes. Yeah, roll yourself a carouse check and then do whatever it says.
God. Some of those are pretty fucked. I don't think I'll be able to.
Effort, man, effort.
But we'll see. We will see.
Nomination?
Yeah, who even was it last time?
No one took a note.
The last time we had a specific person, it was Flynn.
No, then we had a week after.
Which I think we just gave it to everybody.
No, because I wasn't there that week, but then we had another one after that. So I think I gave it to somebody. Was it? I feel like it was like either Ox or Rich for a really good carouse thing. I'll have to look in my log. Well, I can do that and put it in chat.
Alright. Cool. Alright. So, I am off. I will see you guys all several weeks from now. The 28th.
Have a great time.
Plan.
Yes, that. And think about kung fu druid trees taking over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be something.
No.
Is,
Druid treakers.
Oh boy. Alright. Yeah, night guys.
Night.
That's it.
Good night.